I'm just gonna be quiet. And
And we're up. Yeah, you see, I'm also suffering from watching the delayed stream here. Hello, welcome, good evening, good nabend, good other words that I'll make up on the spot that probably mean nothing. This is Cosmotronic, episode 14, where we explore more beta, more adventures, the uplift level 29, new zones, and probably seahorses. Well, hello folks, good to have everyone here, but let's see who else we have with us. We have a Pseudo.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic week. It's been exceptional for me. I've made a lot of new friends this week. So to all of you who are my new friends.
All of the streaming, all of the time. But we also have, it's Kai.
Hello, I'm ill. I'm in my Batman pajamas.
So Kai, looking very monochrome in your Batman pajamas with a flash of green. Very dashing.
Lime green.
So I see the question already being asked in the channel with so much stuff going on. I can't believe some people are more interested in the beta keys than they are in the amazing content of the show. Could this really be true?
Yes. I
Don't
did
worry,
tweet
folks.
out saying if you want beta keys, get in here.
That might do something. That might have something to do with it. Well, guys, we're not going to give away one beta key tonight. We're not going to give away 2. We're not giving away 4. We're not going to give away 7. And we're probably not giving away 12, 16, or 18, or 19 either. Because in a bad simulation of a Monty Python sketch, 20 beta keys is the number we shall be giving out during this show. And for those who joined us during the pre-show, those 2 don't count. We have another 20 keys we're going to give out. They don't. There's more.
You're supposed to tell me these things so I can properly keep track of stuff.
No. I've got to keep
Today's
you on your
gonna have a
toes.
heart
It's far more
attack.
fun.
But just fine. Just so that you know.
Is there a chance we can roast Chua tonight? Every night is a suitable night for roasting Chua. This is a known fact.
Yes. I was going to say, unfortunately, Gazimov, our resident Chua, is unavailable.
He's busy being roasted.
He is currently being roasted. We're preparing him to sacrifice him for the summoning of Dr. Marshmallow. And for those who watch our Top Draw show, you will know what I'm referring to. Especially last week when the chat actually roasted Chua and Dr. Marshmallow was summoned. But anyway.
Absolutely. So guys, a little bit of a heads up of how things work. Now there's been a lot of discussion in the community and elsewhere about keys and how they should be given away and how they should not be given away, etc, etc, etc. So we're going to try a little bit of an experiment after reading through Reddit and talking to various people. This is what we're going to do tonight. We are not going to ask you to follow us. We are not going to require you to tweet us to enter, or to retweet, or anything else of that nature. We're not even going to ask you to go to our Facebook page and leave your dashing comments that make us smile. Now, we would like you to do all of these things, don't get me wrong. Let's be very honest and upfront about it. You know, we want more people to see the content, and if a percentage of them like it and stay, everybody wins. But this is what we're going to do that's different. We're not going to require anyone to do anything. If you're here, you're involved in the show, you win a key, congratulations, you've got a key. But we are going to ask you to. Note the distinction. You win anyway, but do us a favor, guys. If you're enjoying it, promote it. Everybody wins. And with all the, the confusions, the contusions, and the conversations about beta keys, hopefully people like that conclusion that we've come to. But do let us know. But while you're digesting that little morsel of information,
I am going to throw out there, because I am someone who firmly believes in the WildStar community. I will be checking to see that you exist. You are real. You are not a bot, and you are not trying to scam. I don't appreciate people who do that to a community that is as enriching, supportive, and as strong as the WildStar community is. So if we go through and we give away a beta key and it turns out that, you're not talking, you're not being active in participation, you don't respond if I tell you to do something very specific, if I go to a certain page like your Twitch page and, it's obvious that you just really don't exist, I don't care. We're going to reroll. We're going to
side disclaimer, just brought that one up. We will try to make sure that people respond. We'll try and make sure they're real. We'd like you to follow and do all the other stuffs, but we're not going to require it. But we will try and check you are a human being, because, hey, We don't like bots either.
Unless you're an
actually have
engineer.
content. Yes, engineers are allowed bots, but only a couple of them. Let's see where we're at, because Rizquit is currently singing one of the lines from Flight of the Conchords. If anyone gets that reference, fair play to you. We have content in the show. What do we have coming up? Do you want to walk us through it, Pseudo, or shall I do the honors?
No, I'll be happy to walk everyone through it. As you know, our resident Chua is currently not with us, so we're not going to do the Gazzy News. I think it's unfair to try to do the Gazzy News when he's not here, because I've had so many people contact me with suggestions for what music to play for his Gazzy News, and I want to wait till he's here and subject him to the torment and torture that our lovely fans do to Chuas. However, what we will be doing is we will be just making some fair mentions of things that have occurred, are occurring in the community that we think you will definitely want to be aware of. So we will cover some of the things, some of the posts and some of the news articles and other features that have been put out. We will remind you of some of the stuff that's going on. We are going to drive you absolutely crazy, basically because the way we're going to handle some of our competitions today to get WildStar beta keys are not normal. They're kind of focused on what it's like to be a scientist or a warrior or a settler or an explorer. So this basically means a lot of the keys that we're giving away today are kind of based on paths. So
We will.
we're not going to make things too simple, but we're trying to make things fun and enjoyable. So hopefully you guys have fun with it. But we're also going to look at some of the zones that we have and that we have now have the ability to share with you because of the change in the press embargo. So that is brilliant. But yes. And also, we will be taking questions from you. So please, if you are interested in having us answer literally any questions you have, what I'd like for you to do is start your question with a Q and a colon. That's 2 dots for those who are still learning English. And what will happen is Marsh, I haven't set this up for you yet, but if you would do me a favor, I'm going to give you access to our show notes. And if you can just add questions, we'll try and tackle as many as we possibly can, because it's you guys we want to make certain are aware of what's going on, and it's you we want to support.
I just have to ask, why do we have a cultured injection of Gilbert and Sullivan in the chat at the moment? We have Mormagul telling me that he is the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable and animal and mineral. I know the kings of England and I quote the fights historical. From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical, or something like that. I'm not sure why that's there, but hey, it's different. Main topic du jour, however, is going to be a little more on adventures, and there was a big drop. The big drop was a DevSpeak. So while Marsh gets to sort himself out, shall we take a look at the DevSpeak?
Absolutely. I will set that up just real quick because I'm doing 90 things at once now. You know how that goes.
Seahorses, hold on to your people. There's a DevSpeak.
Yes, seahorses, hold on to your people.
Peggy 12.
Welcome to WildStar. This is DevSpeak. Oh, hey, look, a disclaimer. So today we're going to talk about a feature we've been very tight-lipped on up until now. It's an exciting one for us because it lets us do things with gameplay that we can't really do in standard leveling or Elder game content. We simply call it adventures. Adventures are 5-person simulations that take place in alternate versions of zones you've already played. Think of it as a choose-your-own-adventure dungeon, only in an open world, where anything can happen. Each adventure has both a leveling and Elder game veteran mode. And because it's a simulation, we're able to create gameplay modes and mechanics that may not exist anywhere else in the game. And adventures are crazy repeatable. You're making all kinds of tough calls and tactical decisions, and they kind of matter. Like, determine the whole rest of the adventure kind of matter. Of course, enemy AI and random variation mix it up even more. Take the High Crest Insurrection adventure. Once you and your buddies airdrop in, you'll need to decide what tactic to use against the Dominion. Maybe you take the sneaky approach, creeping around to sabotage and assassinate. Maybe you rescue the oppressed farmers. Or just maybe, you turn them into an army to rise up against their oppressors. Freedom! Different tactics and choices have different risks and rewards. The adventure Malgrave Trail is the ultimate example. It's kind of like old school Oregon Trail, with no dysentery. While you escort your caravan, you'll need to pick from roughly a gajillion different routes. Gather resources, rest, defend against enemies and the elements, and deal with some unexpected gameplay encounters like tiptoeing the caravan through a vermin-infested minefield, or building tower defenses to fight off an ambush. Some routes are more explorer-friendly, some are more settler-friendly. Your choices make all the difference, and no two runs are the same. How about a gangster murder mystery, where you choose who to align with and who to oppose? Boom! Crime Lords of Whitevale.
Or a massive strategic tower defense where you build up and defend your forts. Check it. The Siege of Tempest Refuge.
Or a MOBA-style battle where you fight a randomly selected group of enemy champions. War of the Wilds. Now, this may be a simulation, but all that XP, it's all yours. And based on your performance, you can get medals, loot, achievements, titles, and more. So, you might want to give a crap. And just like a dungeon, when played during Elder Game, in Veteran mode, you can earn the sweetest of loot. Elder Game content with unique gameplay mechanics, branching stories, and content that plays out differently each and every time you run it. Daddy likey. Well, that's all I can show for adventures right now. In the meantime, feel free to send us a message here, and here, and here. All three. At the same time. The devs are listening.
Ta-da! That's the adventures. Oh, I don't know about you
Yeah.
guys, but watching that sends chills down my spine. It really
It
does.
is rather fun. So, Kai, you've had a chance to run around a little and experience some of the adventures, and I think you've been doing that in a couple of videos lately that a few people may have seen. What's your take? What's your take on
Actually,
adventures?
I haven't had a chance to actually run any adventures. I've ran a lot of dungeons, but I haven't actually run any adventures.
Oh no!
I know.
We'll have to fix that. I thought you had.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I
Then
was waiting to do the MMO Buff adventures.
Yes.
Adventures in MMO Buffland.
I was saving myself.
We shall do that soon.
We definitely will. One of the things we're looking at doing is getting the crew together from Cosmotronic, including our use article writer, Aiko, and going forth and doing some adventures together to show you guys what it's like. It's a little difficult because, in case you haven't noticed, the MMO Buff crew is split down the line between Exile and Dominion. And it's one of those, hey, we should all do something for, everyone to see what the adventures are like. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that just doesn't quite work out. But for those of you who are interested, and this kind of takes us to the news in a little bit, Gazimov has done an adventure piece, and he did it for MMORPG, and I will put the link in chat for you guys in just a second. I have to take my hat off to him. He has an absolutely spiffy GIF image, the green sort of flexy image in this particular article, and he does try to walk you through it. It is well worth it. There is also a video. Please, if you are interested in hearing from our missing Chua, I want to cry. But if you have that, then there is that particular link for you.
Indeed. So, time is a-ticking, lots to talk about. We've got to intersperse this with a few beta keys here and there. How about we throw a question up and see who knows the answer? Because I'm sure everyone was just paying an awful lot of attention right now. I mean, adventures
Can
are
I win
interesting,
one?
right? No. I think there's rules about that sort of thing, Kai.
Can I see if I
think-
know the answer
I
from
think
my
friends,
knowledge?
family, and affiliates of Tesco, friends, family, and affiliates of Cosmotronic aren't allowed to win any keys. So, yeah, sorry.
That's
something
true.
like that.
That's very true.
It is. So, here is my very strange question for those who have seen. When people were introduced to the DevSpeak, the drop for adventures that's just come out, there was a lot of talk, and it was described in a certain way. Now, one of the things that actually happened is it was compared to a fruity condiment. I told you it was an obscure question. So, the DevSpeak and the adventures was compared to a fruity condiment. If you know what that fruity condiment was, you can win yourself a key. And if we get a few of them, we may give away to the first few people that get it right. Not to too many, of course, everyone starts repeating the answer in the chat.
Oh dear, that actually means I need to sort of set the chat up to be able to accept that. So just give me 1 second because I am I am so
as
prepared.
of right now, my chat has just died.
Mine is still going.
You are not prepared.
I am definitely
No, that's
not.
a different game.
But yes.
I think it was. Don't know.
Oh, so Kai, you don't get to win one because you
Good
don't know
grief.
which fruity condiment was used in the discussion about the dev speak. I actually can't see if anyone in the channel is responding to this.
I will tell you, they're throwing up random fruits and things like that. We've got stuff like jelly and chocolate and ketchup and banana.
Chocolate?
Ketchup.
We've got
Chocolate isn't a fruity condiment. Do I know what a
yes, it
condiment
is.
Well, technically it
Tomatoes.
is, actually.
Tomatoes are a fruit, Kai, and this does mean that yes, they are successfully picking a fruit. And ketchup is actually a
condiment.
fruit condiment. But in this particular case, people are throwing out banana, melon, pear. Some people are saying apple. We've got some people saying pineapple. We've got someone saying strawberry
Does nobody
jam.
know? Am I being too obscure?
Apparently,
Check the show notes to find out
you're
what it
making things a little bit complicated. But I did warn you guys, we're not making it overtly easy, but at the same time, we want to make certain that you guys are as interested in playing the game as possible.
See, there's actually enough time by now for someone to have actually looked up and found the answer.
Hold on 1 second. Fax Machine, you're going to make me blush. Fax Machine just said the sweet fruit was Pseudo.
Oh, that's
I'm
probably one
gonna
of the
just-
best attempts I've seen at a beta key yet. Fax machine.
Well, Fax Machine is an absolute star and an absolute blessing. And I'm going to
I
take
know
the
what it
camera
is.
off myself because if I take the camera off myself, you won't see how bad I'm blushing. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's just talk a little bit while someone is looking up the answer to this question, and if no one does, I'll come up with
I
another one
know
in a
the
moment.
answer.
Ah, is that because someone's typed you the answer, Kai? Or
Or are you
No,
looking
I
in our show
research?
notes?
I checked the show notes.
I think that's cheating.
No.
Thankfully, no one else can access.
We
our
have
show
a
notes, so they
winner.
can't see the answer. We have a winner.
We have a winner.
We have a winner.
Ooh, who is
We
the
have 3 winners, technically, depending on how many keys you want to give away.
winner? If we've got 3 winners, let's give away 3 keys.
Well, we have now everyone's starting to pop
now
it out.
everybody just copies it, so that doesn't count anymore, guys. Sorry.
So, should we give it to the
think
first
the
one we
first-
saw?
Let's ask the first person who gave us the answer where they got the answer from.
Okay. In that particular case, what I need from you, Cyber Pickles, is for you to tell me where you found that answer, Cyber Pickles. And based on when you answer that question, that's probably a key.
Then we get to know you're real. Having said that, I don't think many bots could have done a text-to-speech conversion, a speech-to-text conversion, gone and looked up the answer in the place where it was, and then put it back into the channel. That'd be some quite advanced bot programming going on right there.
I'm a bot.
You're a bot? What makes you a bot?
Just am.
No.
Robot.
I think you're many things, Kai, but a bot isn't one of them. So let's do this, let's give this key out, and then let's talk a little bit about the uplift to 29 and indeed to adventures.
Yes. And Cyber Pickles says that he loves you. Or she loves you. I don't know.
Aw.
Cyber Pickles could be a woman for all I know.
I'm touched, thank you, Cyber Pickles.
Cyber Pickles, do me a favor. Send a message to me through Twitch telling me where you found that information, and I will put you on my list. I has a list.
Just be aware, Pseudo, and here's a funny story. In fact, I may even come up with a photo for next week. So I was streaming the other day and giving away keys for something, and we had a winner. And I asked the person to message me, because I didn't yet have the add-on running to let me do the stuff automatically. And I received no less than 27 emails, messages on the Twitch inbox from variations of the winner's name.
Mm-hmm.
Each one with one character different.
Yep.
All of which that have been created to try and scam the key.
It does not
So
work with me.
be aware.
I'm going. I know I've done this. That's the thing. I'm going to warn people. I am not easily tricked or fooled with this. In fact, if you make these accounts and things like that, I will happily take these fake accounts you're creating and I will ship them to Twitch and I'll let them do whatever they need to do for breaking terms and service. I don't play that game.
There is a blacklist. Blacklists are good sometimes.
But yes.
Why has that just come off mute? My apologies, guys. That's muted again. Pseudo, you got an echo.
I do, apparently. Apparently it was
Double
such a strong
Pseudo.
statement that needed to be said. I am not going to play that game.
Okay. Let's we'll do some questions in a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the level uplift. So I have got a couple of characters sitting at 15 ready to go on stream. One's a spell slinger, one's an engineer, but I believe you've already been doing some running around. Pseudo, streaming.
Yes, I have.
Of course, there's a lot of new content we can expose people to. So what are you excited to show people?
Me in particular?
You in particular, then we've got Kaeyi coming up in just a moment.
Have Kaeyi go first because then I can take care of Pickles.
Okay. Well, yeah, I streamed the other day for about 3 or 4 hours, and I already had a level 25 character, so I just jumped straight in at 25. Seeing as everybody else was streaming level 16, I thought I would just go like straight in with that.
Where were you when you streamed?
I was actually in White Vale, so I was super excited to show that content because obviously, as most people know, up to level 15, I think you just start Gallerus, is that right? You're about to go into Gallerus, I think, at level 15. And then you go through Gallerus from level 15 to about level 22. And once you hit level 22, you go into White Vale, which I love that zone, especially as it's just kind of finished being Christmassy and wintry. It's really cool that we can like show that stuff now. So yeah, I was excited to show that and higher level PvP as well. Just because it gets a little bit different as you get higher levels, because at lower level PvP you don't have that many skills and you don't really have that stronger healers either, because like an Esper below level 15 has no healing abilities, so it's quite hard to heal. So it changes a lot when you get higher, so that's what I wanted to show.
One of the key things that I've found is from about level 22 you start to get divergence in builds.
I argue that you can get divergence in builds even before then. I state that as someone who has run Storm Talon's Lair a couple times now, and each time I've gone in, I've had a completely different last. And in fact, if people take the time to watch the stream that I had done, if you go to MMO or YouTube / I'll put the link up in chat. I did Storm Talon's Lair. We get to a particular boss fight, and you see me go, hold on 1 second, changing my last. And I actually make a change to my limited action set specifically for a boss fight. But I have had, at least in my, because of how amps work and everything else like that, I tend to find that you diverge earlier. Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I'm like 23 right now, and I've got so many abilities to pick from, and I have to make the decision on how I want to do it, and I love that.
But I think the key point is, from a certain level onwards, and it does vary a little by class. I mean, I think you've been doing that as a spell slinger, and that perhaps has some earlier divergence than some of the others. There comes a point whereby your choices become increasingly meaningful, and you can run, say, a DPS build with a little bit of healing and still pull both off. Whereas previously, if you wanted to be effective, you were kind of going all DPS or all healing. There wasn't really the scope to be hybrid. So now you can say, well, hang on, what do I want to do? Do I want to increase my mobility at a cost of DPS? Do I want to do X? You can actually make choices that start to make a difference. And one thing crosses my mind that I haven't yet explored, and this is really aimed at the PvPers. So White Vale is the first contested PvP zone. And I don't know if you built with that in mind, Kaeyi, when you were there, but is this where we're going to start seeing people say, hey, I've got my PvP las on, so to speak? Because my job today is I'm going out and roasting chewers.
Your job is to go out and roast chewers today. Yeah. That should be your
every
job
time
every day.
I've been there, I've kind of been focusing a lot on leveling up at the moment, just because I've wanted to get higher in the game and things like that. So I haven't really been focusing on a PvP build as such, but I've had quite a weird experience in White Vale. Whenever I've encountered Dominions, even with PvP enabled, we seem to just quest together. We never fight each other. We just kind of run alongside each other and avoid each other's telegraphs and like help kill the same mobs. And that's what I've been encountering. So I don't know whether people are just super friendly to me, which doesn't normally happen. Normally,
is it the Kaeyi effect?
Yeah, well, normally the Kai effect means they try and kill me as quick as possible. But recently, I've just been having a bunch of Dominions just following. I think, in fact, when me and Martin were streaming, he had like I joked that he had like a girlfriend just following him around. It was like just this girl, female character who was on Dominion and just constantly following him around and questing with us and like killing the bosses and NPCs and whatever we needed to kill. Just literally following us around while we were questing. That's pretty much my experience in White Veil, so it's pretty unusual, but yeah.
So did you get stomped by blank space when you wandered over to White Veil then, or everyone was nice to you by the sounds of things?
No, as I actually encountered blank space in PvP. We were both streaming.
Who won?
Blank space, but only by a minute. But we were doing Halls of the Bloodsworn, and I think that's what it's called. That is what it's called, I think. And yeah, it was by a minute. I had joined the match, and he had joined the match, and I was with Martin and two of my friends, so we were like a pre-made team of 4. And at first, I didn't really notice he was on the other team, because at the end of the day, it's just red blobs that you're trying to kill. I don't care what their names are. They're Dominion, so I would kill them. And so I was playing, and all of a sudden, I just hear like, raise your chalice in my chat. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is blank space raiding my chat like it's his birthday? Surely he'd want people talking to him. Then like the next verse is like, you're playing against blank space, and I was like, oh my god, like this is so typical. And yeah, it was really funny because like both sides were having people in the chat, and yeah, he won, but we did put up a pretty good fight.
So we have a really... I've just turned myself up, by the way, because people are saying I'm too quiet. So let me know if this is too loud. But we have a really important question in the chat straight away from Fisher, who wants to know, how could you let blank space win?
Koi Fisher.
I didn't let blank space win. I tried my hardest. If you go, I'll type in the chat now, and if you actually after the Cosmotronic show, go to my Twitch channel and you'll see the highlight. So I'm just gonna say hi now. You'll see the highlight there, and it's like a 17-minute highlight of the PvP match, and you'll see that as an Esper healer, I managed to stay alive for like 5 minutes while blank space is just literally bashing on my head, constantly following me around. And I actually said at one point, God, he must be so annoyed because he can't kill me. But obviously, after a while, I run out of power and stuff, and I would eventually die. But yeah, I managed to stay alive for quite a long time. It was just a really close match. It was the funnest PvP match I've ever had, and I think blank space said the same. So definitely check it out.
PvP.
So, go.
I was going to say PvP in general tends to be a lot more fun when you're going up against names you recognize. For those of people who are so used to watching blank space PvP, it must be exciting if you may have made yourself into one of the betas and you go to do the PvP and all of a sudden you see blank space right in front of you. I mean, that's empowering in its own right. It's exciting. But when you know the people you're PvPing against, when you are PvPing with friends, it changes the dynamic of PvP. It really does.
I mean, that's actually something really quite smart about the choices Carbine have made with regards to server communities. So with regards to the whole hoo-ha from a few weeks ago now, whereby you can do sort of looking for... Oh no, we've lost a Kai. Let's hope she comes back.
Bummer.
When you're actually searching for a group...
I'm sorry.
Oh yes,
Pseudo
we're now
is so
split
tired.
in the middle.
No. I set the overlay up, but hello, my name is Martin Mizpah.
My, I look attractive today.
Oh, thank you. I apparently need to gain some weight.
But one smart choice they've made, if you are looking for a group, and note there's no looking for raid, they've made that very clear, you can choose to actually do so within your server community or within the wider WildStar community. Mm-hmm. So if you continually roll, as I probably will, within the server community, you can start to build up those who do we know, who do we not know, I know this person, you get a sense of those people around you, and to me that adds something.
I agree.
So that's all good stuff. And I think, Blank, as I know you're probably out there looking at this at some point, I think we need to form a Cosmotronic team and come and get you. It has been decided. There's just too much Dominion winning going on here.
Wait a second. Are you actually pulling the Cosmotronic team together, throwing a gauntlet down against blank space?
Yep, that'll be the one. And I
He's a
tell you what we'll do to make
co-host
it.
of mine. I kind
I
of
tell you
feel
what we'll do to make it
bad.
interesting. I tell you what we'll do to make it interesting. Blank will set this up. Give us about a week, and we'll do it at say level 25. And the losing team. In fact, I'll do this from the Cosmotronic side, and you can match this from your side. The losing team can put 50 quid towards Child's Play.
Oh. Okay, those of you from the Viking Nation who definitely
Or
are
someone
here.
go convey those words.
Someone pass those messages on to the Blank and let him know that a gauntlet has just been thrown down for the awesomeness that is Child's Play. Unbelievable. I can't believe you've done that. You have now made it impossible for me. And now I have to decide who I want to donate money.
No, you're on. Yeah, you're on the Cosmotronic side here, Pseudo. I'm afraid.
Oh man, what are you trying to do? Drive a divide between me and my other co-hosts? You're mean.
It's all for charity.
It is
That's
all
no
for charity.
bad thing.
Absolutely. Oh, no bad thing at all. But apparently, there you go. We have got ourselves up, and we will be donating through the Heal Over Time event, which
Indeed.
is healovertime.org for those of you who are interested. But yes.
So while we wait for Kai to come back, this is what we're going to do. We're going to show those lovely little screenshots we have, Pseudo, of some areas that people might not be familiar with.
We could do that, or we could also
And-
tackle questions. Totally your choice.
Let's do the screenshots first. And we're going to ask people for, this is top of my head, see if you agree. Let's ask people for quotes or comments or funny captions for the photos. And any that we think are great, they win a beta key.
Hold on one second.
Does that work, or is the delay too big to let this happen?
The delay can happen, but what we can do is I can set this up so that... At least I can try and set this up. Let's do it this way. And what we are going to do is we're going to go... Okay.
Zayafire said that Blank accepts. I don't see Blank's acceptance in the channel.
Yeah, we need Blank to show up and prove
tell
that he
Blank
accepts
to get
this.
here now. Blank, you are being challenged.
Gauntlet is thrown down. This is crazy. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen. These are literally screenshots from the game taken by a character. And what we are going to do is we will have a little bit of a competition. We're going to take it one at a time. What I'd like for you to do is if you have... oh, dear. If you have a caption or a comment, start it with caption : otherwise, I'll miss it. So, yeah. And by doing that, I'll be able to make a call on winners and stuff like that.
So let's put up the first picture, and we'll just talk about them as we go through.
Sounds like a plan, as it takes just a second for me to get all of them together. Right. The very first picture that we are looking at is Galaris.
Now, of course, this is where the 20-second delay cuts in, because I won't see this picture till anyone
number
else does.
one Galaris, of which you already have a copy, and you can just go open it.
I can, but I'm actually reading the chat at the moment. I can see the chat, though, Blank has accepted. I don't see a Blank. I thought Blank was going to come here and accept in person. Does the Viking King only send emissaries now?
Oh, there he is.
Blank, we challenge you. You are now challenged.
I have to pipe in here. I may be and have Martin under my name because of an overlay screw up on my part tonight, but I want you to know, Blank, I don't want to go up against you, but I'm forced to. He's trying to make me choose between hosts, and I don't agree with this. But it's for Child's Play, and I will happily step into an arena with you as I knock stuff over on my desk.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's look at this. Let's look at this picture that we have. I'm looking at it now. It's gone again. We
It'll
have a
be
couple
back.
of captions. Only a few. We have. What do we have? Oh, it's going to be Tainted. Tainted is going to be doing it as well.
No, absolutely not. No. Welcome back, Kai, by the way.
It's going to be 3v3.
It's going to be
now, because we've got Kai
3v3
back.
because we're going to have Kai, who will be joining us. We're going to have
Do you know what we
Kai.
should do?
But we need to tell
should put-
Kai what
yeah,
we just
should
put her into.
Gazimoff. We should put Gazimoff on Blank's team.
You really want us to lose, don't you?
I've PvP'd against Gazimoff. I don't mind.
Okay, so Kai, what you've basically just walked yourself back into as people look at this gorgeous picture that we have up of Galaris, and if you have a caption, which can enter you to win into our one of the WildStar beta keys that we have, start it with caption : and then place your caption in. But what you've just walked into is the Cosmotronic team has challenged Blank Space to open world PvP. Winner puts 50 quid into Child's Play Healing Over Time, which is going to be fronted by Mizpah. Sorry, the loser. Oh, you know, the winner should do it too. I'm all about the charity events, but yes.
So is it all of us just versus Blank Space?
No, it's
could work,
not
but I
all
think
of
it's gonna
us
be an even
versus
thing.
Blank Space.
3v3,
That's a fair
open
fight.
world, they accept.
Okay.
We'll work out the details offline, Blank, and we'll get it fairly recorded by an intermediary.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have some captions. What's the favourite caption for this picture?
Well, there's been quite a few. What I'm going to do is I am going to just random somebody's name, go look at what they had specifically said for theirs. So what we have, and I'm going to remind people, we did make the decision pre-show, you do not need to be following us in order to enter these competitions.
But we'd still like you to.
Of course, we'd still
But you
like
don't
you
have to.
There. And we have a straw poll, by the way, from Katamari. That is the Rumble in the Jungle 3v3 Cosmotronic versus SFG. Who's going to win, Cosmotronic
gonna
or
win?
SFG? But yes, so the person who I have just randomly rolled into has gotten the caption, and to think, we haven't even trashed the place yet.
I can go with that one.
So obviously you know who you are. Can you do me a favor? Da the Dead. And I will just throw this up here on screen for everyone to see really quick. But Da the Dead, what I want you to do is I want you to quickly type in chat. And then I will send a message, and then after the show, you and I can talk. But yes, go ahead. So that is our caption there. Now that Kai's back. Do you want to move to a different thing?
Currently, SVG are pulling ahead 38% to 63%. We can't have that. Where's all the love for Cosmotronic gone?
They know me. They've watched me play. They know
They haven't
Kai.
watched me.
You get lost. I totally expect us to get to this PvP match. I do. I totally expect us to get to this PvP match, and I totally expect to see Mizpah on the other side of the map going, where are we fighting? And I'm just sitting there going, I can just see that happening.
we won prizes in the Arkship event.
Yes.
I won't comment that we
He
actually had a
wants to be
certain.
shown.
Aw, we always have time for that. Let's have another picture, please, Pseudo.
In just 1 second, as a reminder, Da the Dead, you're going to want to type in chat because I can't do it unless you type for me. Haha. Yes. I will bring another screenshot up. This time, I am going to be bringing you a screenshot up. It is not going to be of Galaris. It is going to be of Whiteveil. And I am going to show Whiteveil number 7. That was from Mizpah.
I'm actually not looking at the on stream because I'm reading the chat. So,
I know.
Let's have a caption or a quote to do with this. So White Veil, the zone we talked about a moment ago, it's not been seen too much yet, although Kai was running around there the other day. All nice and snowy, but more importantly is where you get to meet people in PvP for the first time.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like.
Sorry, I'm smothered in kitties right now.
Are you having a cat attack? Can we have those kitties on our team, please, versus Blank?
Yeah,
We'll
they're
use the
pretty-
cuteness to overpower him.
They're pretty cute. Hello?
I haven't.
I'd love to.
Hold on. In order for me to actually show it, I kind of actually have to put them up on the screen. So just give me 1 second because I'm trying to
that
do
helps.
90 million things at once. But what a great shot. Hi, kitty, kitty. Hello. Hi, kitty, 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 kitty. Sorry. Totally and completely.
Kiki and Pascal have no idea they're currently streaming live to the nation.
Yes. But there you are.
I quite like the caption, pissed off Death Star. I have to say it, that makes me smile.
Right, so I'll put the
Such attention
screenshot back up.
seekers.
Sure death incoming for that one? Yes. And we've peaked at 40, but people are still favouring blank space. I can't see why. What is this strange idea that you all have? Because we're actually going to use the kitty cats on our team.
Yes, they're minions. They're my little Esper minions.
Right. Did you want to move beyond that one? Did you want me to random a name? Did you pick one? I am so busy trying to do multiple things. Tell me what I'm doing for you.
Right, Kaeyi, you're going to pick your favourite caption.
Okay, right. Let me... Have you picked a selection or just out of the chat?
You're going to pick one out of chat that you like.
Okay. Okay, I like this. Wait, where's it going? Oh, here we go.
I have my winner selected. Pseudo, pick one as well.
I copy it into MMOBuff chat.
That'll work. That's cool.
Shh. We're trying to pick beta key winners.
They just really don't care, those kitty cats, do they?
No.
And as soon as we've done this, we'll actually go through the questions. Let's put some content into the show.
That would be lovely. I'm going to take the screenshot off, put it on you, and I'm going to try to take care of the fact that she just sent something to me. You said that you had a pick for yourself, Miss?
I've put it into the chat on GoTo.
Oh, geez. You guys picking different places are going to drive me crazy. And give me one
while we're doing
second.
the questions, we can show the rest of the pictures.
No, you can't. You do realize I am doing all of this stuff, correct?
All of the things and all of the time. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, just making certain because I can't take your pick. Do some questions. Do that.
Let's have the questions then. Let me
Scroll
find
down. Scroll down to the very bottom. Marcia's been doing a brilliant job of picking up some awesome questions.
Okay, so we have a few things we're being asked about. One of them I don't know the answer to myself, so I'll try and find those answers out, probably for next time. Marcus Dinas. That's a very familiar but not quite the same name.
Marcus Dinas
sorry to
is
hassle
a very,
you.
very
Have you
big
heard
fan.
back from the numbers for the most played, least played class in Beta?
Yes, Marcus Dinas has been a frequenter of our streams, and hi, how are you doing? It's good to see you again. Hopefully everything's going well for you. They wanted to know where the actual numbers are, who's playing, how many people are playing, what classes, what paths, etc. We haven't had a chance to go and ask them yet. They're really busy right now. We just have to be patient and wait. They're looking kind of for some beta numbers. We're going to try and figure it out, but we need to be patient on that one.
Atomic Calden 98. Is it easy to raid solo? It's actually very easy to raid solo if your desired outcome is death. Because by definition, raids require more people.
I will state they have discussed having Elden game for solo players. Not much has been released about it. It's been hinted at. It's been teased. That's all that can be said because we are talking about some stuff.
True, but I wouldn't call a solo Elder game activity as a raid. A raid, for me, by definition, is made up of multiple people. Think back to the Viking raids. I mean, I'm sure Blank doing a Viking raid with just one person, it wouldn't actually be the scariest raid of all, even if he has his chalice raised. Next question. Ninashu. That sounds a little like a Pokemon. How ready for release do you guys think the game is at present? Well, let's all give an answer to that, because it's a highly opinionated question. I would say, a little careful, because there's things seen and unseen here. I would say that a lot of stuff that's out there is very polished for this stage of beta. I would say that there's a lot of very positive stuff going on, but there's more stuff I would like to see. We know that the Gaffinator is a fan of getting Elder game absolutely right. And I think, there's a bit of a journey still going on there. That's my take. They're at a good spot for where they are in the process. Kai, what's your take?
I think they're working on the stuff that they've got publicly open in, like, well, I say public, the stuff that's in like the stress tests and the beta weekends and the stuff that we've been able to stream is extremely polished. But as of yet, I think they still have a lot of work to do with Elder Game. Obviously, I think I can talk about the patch notes now because Gaz actually wrote an article on them. So from Gazimov's article, I'll reference that. He did mention that they are starting to do some of the Elder Game testings and things like that in closed beta. So if they're only just starting that now, then they'll probably have a little bit in regards to making sure that that is balanced, that classes are balanced at end game, and just that kind of thing. But polish-wise, I think it's very, very good. Bugs are being squashed every week, if not daily. And as I get higher and higher level, I'm encountering less game-breaking things. So I definitely think they're close, but there are obviously still some final touches to do, but I don't think we're that far off.
Pseudo, do you have a take?
In my personal opinion, I agree so far with where Kai is coming from. I will add in, they are still fixing itemization. They are still balancing out classes. That's going to happen for a while. Last night on the Late Night Dominion, the guys had pointed out, I think it was Blank actually, who had said that when it comes to the development of games and things like that, the abilities and the actual class mechanic balancing is one of the last things that gets done because you do need to do your itemization and things like that. And I completely agree. I mean, they took the beta test and drew it to a dead halt during August, etc., because they wanted to completely re-itemize the game. Now, when you make some kind of drastic change like that, you know, the abilities that you have and the things that you stream, for those of you who watched me streaming WildStar last night, you saw me sitting there theory crafting what's going to be the best last for my current play style. I mean, I was going through the different tiers, I was going through the amps, I was going through the abilities. There is a really good chance that could all change next week because they've now decided they want to properly balance classes. They're at a point right now where they're just starting to nail everything down. Quests seem to be very, very good. You run into a couple of bugs here and there, but again, it's a beta. It's meant to be a beta. As long as people properly report things, it's brilliant. Don't just sit there and not report. That's not a good thing, especially if you get into the test. Remember, though, we are supporters of the NDA. Please don't break it. We don't tolerate it. Martian as Banhammer will come down hard on you.
And we have a special dispensation along with some other press to do what we're doing at the moment, just so no one thinks that, hey, anyone can talk about stuff.
Exactly. But yes, in my personal opinion, it is, the polish is, I should say, you know when you pull out silver from a drawer that you haven't used in a couple of years and you actually need to sit there and polish it off so that it's actually silver now and no longer this sort of tarnished thing? It's kind of in that state for me. It's tarnished still, and they're just starting to slowly buff in and clean up and take care of the little bits and pieces here and there. And every time I log in, I'm surprised by how much closer they're getting. And it's not just these tiny this little thing's fixed. It's these leaps. I mean, these are gigantic leaps every time I have logged in after a patch. So I think they're getting closer and closer and closer, and I think they're getting really solid at nailing it.
Okay, so let's dive into some more questions. I've put a comment, fellow co-hosts, into the GoTo chat. Let me know what you think of that GoTo before I say anything about that.
Sure, as long as you remember to keep track of what we're at to. Or do you want me to?
I'm going in order, actually. I'm not skipping any.
No. I mean, I'm keeping track of how many we've done. So I'm
fine with that. Yep.
So I can basically say, what I will tell you, you guys didn't tell the people who won the captions who won.
Can I say who I picked?
Yes. In fact, hold on one second. Let
I'll
me set up my
Let
me set up my highlighter so that I can make certain that I see their names when they type. Because if they don't type, I'm not going to add them to the list. Their name has been added. So if you would do me a favor, Kai, and inform who you picked and what their quote was.
I would like someone who has two numbers in the... No, I'm kidding.
Please don't do that. Please.
Spreading.
So I picked Sensor88, who said the caption, we don't really need beach defenses with a floating ball of laser death right there. And that just made me giggle. So yeah, I picked you for bait key. So if you can type in the
Congratulations.
chat, we'll make sure that you're real and alive, and Pseudo can give you all that good stuff after the show.
Lovely. And who did you pick, Pseudo?
I didn't, because I was busy doing other things. I couldn't
Aw.
catch the chat. Sorry.
Not a problem. And I picked someone who said, the target area is only 2 meters wide. It has a small thermal exhaust port right below the main port. The shaft leads directly to the reactor system. Love the reference. Congratulations, Metic54. You have also won a beta key.
As long as they get in touch.
So, Metic54, say something in the channel now so we know you're real and live and haven't yet been blown up by a dubious gap with a shaft leading to a reactor core or something of that nature. So who was your one again? I see a winning from Metic.
Yeah, both of them have typed in the chat.
Lovely. Congratulations, folks. You'll be getting those a little later. We'll do that post-show because it's just too crazy during the show.
You're just now realizing this? I'm being silly.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the other questions. We can give people some contents.
Yes.
This is a good question, actually, from the Apollyon. As a hardcore crafting enthusiast, how hard is it to find blue items? I understand blue power cores only come from dropped items. So let me just elaborate without answering the question for someone thinking, well, why do I need these blue power cores? Some of the crafts will start to require power cores if you want to make the better stuff, if you want to overvolt stuff to a certain level. You are going to want the better ones and the better versions. Power cores can be tricky to get, but without answering that question too much. Kai, your thoughts? Have you been doing any crafting?
Yes, but I've not got to blue things yet. I've had quite a lot of because I have been a technologist, and technologists can actually make power cores, but I've not made any blue ones. And I always end up selling my gear rather than salvaging it because I'm the worst crafter ever. And I just feel like I want the gold because I like to have instant gratification rather than long-term gratification. So I vendor everything. I'm the worst.
I actually always do attempt to salvage just because I want to keep crafting. But I must confess, the other day on a low-level character, I was so hooked into crafting. It's like, gotta get there, right? Got to the right level, straight to the crafting station, craft, doing my weaponsmithy stuff. And I went, rah! I have no gold. I have no credits, no copper, no anything. I have this shekel in my pocket. Will it let me do anything? And the answer is sadly no.
I have like 80 gold now.
80 gold?
80, because I played
How much
the
gold do
auction
you
house.
have, Pseudo?
I have quite a bit, but what I was going to make a comment on is my character that I made the bed for, Kai in. If Kai remembers the bed, as we shared it, that was really bizarre. That bed was blue. That bed was blue. It was an architect recipe. It was a discovered bed based on something else because of the way that they actually do the crafting mechanic for the architect. And I also have blue food that I have made through cooking, through discovering recipes. So getting to blue items, just in general, it is possible, and I think it depends entirely upon what you're trying to build within the crafting profession, because it's not OP to have blue food, but it's completely different than, say, having blue guns or a blue sword or blue something else like that. But I think it is not as difficult. If you're just playing around and doing what you need to do and just enjoying yourself, you will get there. I don't think it's a grind, and I think the entire process is exceptionally enjoyable. It really is.
I must admit, I'm finding as a weaponsmith trying to get the cores I need a little tricky. I've gone out and had to grind specifically to try and get more, and the drop rate's a little low. But that said...
Are you running around with multiple gathering professions, or are you running around with just one gathering profession?
I am running around with one gathering profession.
Okay. So what are you finding yourself lacking in?
Blue power cores, in essence, which are coming from killing mobs. So I'm simply finding to continue crafting, I'm not quite getting enough of them. Now that said, I'm probably already trying to craft higher than my level, so yeah, that can cause a problem. So, and also, this is beta. Drop rate's not confirmed. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
That's the
There'd be a
thing.
market for products. So I'm not saying it's in a bad place, but yeah, I would like a few more cores, or another effort-based way of obtaining a few more. I feel at the moment when I go out and knock mobs over, it's a little random. I'd love to go to a place where the mobs don't drop other stuff, but do drop more cores, so I can make a choice of what do I do to get the stuff I actually need for the things I want to do. I'm not
So
saying
sort
make
of
it
like
easier,
grinding
I'm saying
for
give us a
the
route.
so sort of like grinding the runes that are used for rune crafting.
Exactly.
Well, they have made mention of the fact that they are going to be bringing changes to things like itemization, drop rates, etc. That stuff hasn't been sorted yet. So.
And beta is beta. Exactly. Let's move on with another one.
Before we do,
This one's for you, Pseudo. Oh, before we do.
I am going to throw out a quick question for people in the chat to see who has actually been paying attention. So, for those of you who have been paying attention, what have we just been discussing? A one-letter word that begins with a C. You get a chance at a beta key. Okay, go.
We'll only run this one for about 60 seconds.
Correct.
Because it was such an easy question.
Correct.
This is for the awake people who aren't watching 37 streams at the same time.
Yes, but go ahead. You have a question?
Well, before we go into the question, I'm going to say that the straw poll is evening up. It's now 48% Cosmotronic, 52% SVG. This is going to be an epic rumble in the jungle, complete with suitable sound effects and backing music by the time we make the highlight video.
But yeah, that's going to be great. Right.
I fear there's going to be Guns N' Roses music in the background.
How did I guess? Welcome to the jungle. But, yeah, go ahead, my dear. You had a question?
Was that to me or was that to Kaeyi? You were just saying
to
something,
you.
Kaeyi. I shall jump back in then with another question. But this question was in your direction. Did you enjoy your Storm Talon's lair run?
I absolutely did enjoy it.
Why?
That was not the first time that I ran it, so I'll be honest there. It was not the first time that I ran it, so I absolutely enjoyed it. By the way, if your name happens to be RZQT, you're going to want to type in the chat because you just got yourself a chance at a beta key, and if you type in chat, I'll add you to the list, and then we can discuss things after the show. Storm Talon's Lair was exciting to me because, as I had said on the stream, this is the very first dungeon in the game. The very first. And it is not a matter of walking in and, oh, who knows who's pulling, who cares who's tank, just go run through, it'll be fine. Doesn't work that way. You are held accountable for your actions. People die if you don't move out of the telegraphs. If you don't understand the boss encounters and the boss fights, you will be frustrated. It literally forces people to rethink about how you run dungeons. It forces people to change how they play. You are rewarded for the danger. The very first boss that you go up against is so challenging for someone who has never done that kind of dungeoning before, or even hardcore raiding, or just raiding in general. You're going to find yourself going, I need to learn how to play. And I love that challenge. I love the encounters that they've created. I love the fact that when you walk into a dungeon, there are going to be random events that can be triggered based on you being there, random bosses available for you to take on and challenge. I love that.
So let's jump back into another question. I'm going to throw this one at you, Kaeyi. Okay. And indeed, I do like that answer, Pseudo. It just sums up the way that they're handling all the principles in the game. And this is actually a relevant question. Do you think that coordinating armor breaks in pugs will be too difficult? So we should start with what is an armor break.
Okay.
Do you want to take that question?
Yeah, so basically, most bosses, and in fact some just mobs or add-ons that you find in dungeons, will have interrupt armor, and this is basically signified by a number next to their health bar. And normally you'll encounter like a boss with either 2 or 3 interrupt armor. That's pretty common, especially for your first dungeons, Storm Talon's Lair or Kelvrath. And basically what that means is you have to do an interrupt or a stun or something like that, and something that will break their interrupt armor twice or 3 times before it's broken, and then once it is broken, it'll be signified with a red broken sort of shield, and once it's at that point, you'll be able to successfully interrupt them. So for example, the second boss in Storm Talon's Lair, Aethros is his name, I think, or I might be making that up. He's a big whirlwind boss. I think his name's Aethros, and he's the whirlwind boss that has... It is now. He has the gauntlet where you get pushed back to the back of the room and you have to run through a bunch of whirlwinds, and once you get to the boss you have to interrupt him, otherwise you're pretty much dead. And you do need to kind of communicate, but I think once you've learnt the mechanic, and if you are with a pug and it could be all of your guys' first time, you will know that he has interrupt armor because it's made pretty obvious at the beginning of the game when you're learning how to play. You will be introduced to interrupt armor and you will know that you'll need to do the 2 and then he can be interrupted. It's more so just figuring out the right time to interrupt. It's not hard to say, you know, at the beginning of this fight everyone's going to want to put an interrupt on their bar, even the healer if possible, and just so that at that point everybody can interrupt to make sure that he isn't going to do this, you know, wipe ability that will kill everyone. It's more so just learning the mechanics than learning when to interrupt. It's pretty simple, I think. But even you'll find in some groups, people will take a little while to understand exactly when they have to interrupt to make sure that he is interrupted. But it's not that difficult, but it's definitely interesting. And it's definitely a big curve in gameplay learning, but you'll figure it out.
But there are 2 things that spring to mind to me with this one straight away. First of all, with the Atheros example, you got to get to him. There's quite a few whirlwinds to run through first.
Yeah.
And that's really, really rather fun. I'm lucky enough at Arkship to do that sort of a while ago. And all of a sudden it was like, whoa, this is a dungeon? And the level of awareness and responsiveness that was needed is beyond perhaps what people would expect in a dungeon. And that might be why the question came in as it did from, he looks up the name of the person that asked the intelligent question. Where has it gone? I can't see it. Hang on. It came from TurboTastic99. The level of awareness that you need is high. And it's high compared to some modern-day dungeons. But that really is the bar this game has overall. The interesting thing to me is not just that, okay, I need to do 2 or 3 interrupts in a group of 5. Now consider we're running around somewhere with 40 people. You've got to, imagine if you had a 30-second window to do 20 interrupts or the raid wipes. What a fantastic mechanic from my perspective. So there's so much potential there for stuff they could do with it should they wish. Let's jump into another question. And Pseudo, this one's going to be coming your way now. And we'll probably work through, I know we're running a little on time, but we'll probably work through most of these. They're probably worth working through.
I kind of figure as long as people would like to have us answer questions, I think it's a Friday night. I think it's the kind of thing, I have no problems with us having an incredibly long show, especially if we can answer the questions that are burning in people's brains. I love being able to give that. I know that Kai is not feeling 120% today. She's running at about 102%. We're trying to figure out where that other 18% disappeared to. But at any point in time that she doesn't feel well, we'll swap back to me being Mizpah and Mizpah being me, and we'll let her have herself a bit of rest if she so wishes as well.
Indeed.
But I feel perfectly content with having a drink, sitting back, and helping to answer questions that people have.
And here's what we're going to do that's going to surprise people. So we're all about giving keys away. We're all about people actually being awake. We're all about people that are actually genuinely interacting with the show.
And interested.
What's
in
the best
WildStar.
way of finding out the best people that are real, not bots, and are interacting? Well, Marsh, at this moment we're not going to take any more questions, because what I'm going to say here and now, hold the press. If you have asked a question that is a sensible question that we read out, you'll be getting a beta key. I wait for the flood of new questions, so Marsh, please make sure there's a break, a clear line, a delimiter before we add any more to the document. Still happy to answer them, but I'm only doing the ones above the line, so to speak. And that does mean that, I've got these names here, Marcus Dinas, Atomic, Calden 98, I'm not going to exclude at this point. I'm going to say yes to all of the questions, but we're looking for intelligent questions, guys, from this point onwards. Marcus Dinas, Atomic 98, Ninachu, The Polyon,
Angelic
Angel
Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Angelic Mayhem.
Angelic Mayhem and Turbotastic 99. You've all just won a beta key. Congratulations. Now, before we carry on to the chat, is that a good way of us doing it? From the perspective of people that are watching, engaged, interested in WildStar, I'm always after feedback. So, what we're saying we're doing. But going forwards, is this a good way of picking beta key winners? Do you prefer it to the random, or do you prefer the random? We'll see what people say.
We'll let them see what they say. What I think we might want to do is let our stream come to a quote-unquote end here. Let the gorgeous KaeyiDream go put her head down. She definitely needs it. And we will do everything that we can to support you through not feeling well, babe.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the show. I like to see your faces. But yes, I need to go back to bed. I will be in WildStar, most likely just type answering questions in advice chat for all the people who are unsure how to play and laying in bed. That's how I make myself happy when I'm ill.
Poor dear.
Drusty Blood said a mix is good, and I think a mix is what we've done here. So we'll throw out some more questions, give some more people that way. We've already given some out randomly, and we'll see where we're at with totals in just a moment.
Yes, what we need to do is we need to take a quick break so that the lovely Kai can disappear. We'll take that moment to also let me run to the bathroom.
Okay, guys, so we're going to take a 4 minute and 37-second break or something like that. And we'll come back and we might just answer some more questions.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, do your thing, because this is where I'll cut it for you.
Pseudo,
actually, not really. I'll probably let it play. But, yeah.
Do you want to run the dev speak again? That will give us that quick 3 minute and 57-second break or whatever it might be.
I don't have it set up. So
okay,
no.
Then don't.
People...
I'll keep talking.
People... well, what I was just going to say is I'll just put on some lovely music, put up a little background image, and that'll be that. And then I'll come back, and when I come back, I'll bring us back up on picture. Sound good?
It does, but before we do that, Koi Fisher, I'm going to say yes to that.
What question did he ask that you were saying yes to?
I actually do remember because you picked me up on not actually pronouncing his name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can't recall the question at this moment in time.
Gotcha. Okay. Right. Well, in that particular question, I'm going to do the thing. Do you want to say bye-byes or toodle pips, or we'll be back in a second? Or
yes, let's do the outro. And we'll be back in a moment, guys.
Martin, does Martin want to come on and say hello as well? That's right, 2 Martins. No.
Up to him.
Multiple Martins.
Don't mind either way. Do Kiki and Pascal want to say goodbye?
Okay.
The main hosts.
The main hosts, they're the brains behind the operation.
Yes, they're the ones busy catching chewers.
They're too busy wriggling around right now.
Well, they do that.
They do. They're very wriggly little wormy butts.
Pyro indeed.
Their tails look like worms. Worms.
Right.
I should go. I'm going crazy.
Yeah, you need a little bit of rest, my dear. Do feel better, obviously.
Thank you. See you next week.
Most definitely. But yes, shall we just take a quick interlude then?
Let's take that quick break and we'll come back and do some more questions.
And you can continue talking, and I've left a very important message for you in GoTo. I will be right back. Well, we'll be right back. And Kai, sleep well.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, Pseudo here. Thanks for watching episode 14 of Cosmotronic. If you would like to actually see more, we've added a special edition where we've actually kept the post show, and you can click on the link right in the big box there to actually see it. Remember, if you like what you see, please remember to click like, share, subscribe, and remember, if you have anything you want to share with us, do so below. I love engaging in discourse with our viewers. Have a great weekend, everyone. Toodle pip.